Out towards Chloe Rolly. Wonderful step from the Scotland international. Gliding away, running away, sprinting away, stunning score!
Lewis on the wraparound. This might work out for Thompson. They're going to put a little bit more on it, and then they're over.
Large on the ball, lovely flighted pass. Tatiana Hurd with a straight line, streaking towards the try line in the opening minute. She spills away, dives over the line. Wonderful fly from Tatiana Hurd.
Megan Goddard puts the afterburners on. Shot in Harris. 2-on-1 is Lydia Thompson. Oh no, you're not going to catch Lydia Thompson from there. Scott. Oh, it's intercepted by Emily Serret. They won't catch Emily Serret from there. The long legs just eating up the ground. Oh, Chloe Rowley's making her way back, but she won't catch her. Emily Serret has been on fire.
Carson again, she's having an absolute stormer of a second half. The Canadian international still going, gets the offload out. Lottie Clark bursts away from the tackles, gives it off. Carson again, looks on the outside, Packer for the hat-trick. What a score from Saracens. What a comeback.
Ride with me. Oh my girls with me. Ride with me.
Turnover by Malloy. And McDonald sets off. Claudia McDonald. Mack is back and in fine style. Oh, it's a fine strike. Marston controlling brilliantly. Now Bristol Pack going forward. It's a penalty try. Oh, now there's a gap. Burgess.
Ride with me. Oh my girls with me.
Welcome back to Loughborough University. Thank you very much for joining us today on this lovely, sunny and warm afternoon for another round of the Premier 15s, this time between Loughborough Lightning and Worcester Warriors. Currently at the moment, both of the teams are warming up and getting ready to go. Loughborough Lightning are looking to continue their current wins from Bristol Bears and then again winning against Harlequins just a couple of weeks back, whilst Worcester Warriors are looking to bounce back from their defeat against Exeter Chiefs a couple of weeks ago. Hello, my name is Rosa, Serret, presenting live from LSUTV, and I'm delighted to be joined again by our lead commentator who will be taking you through today's game, Sam Peters. Hi, how you doing?
Hi Rosa, it's great to be back. Lovely day, can't wait to get stuck in.
I know, thankfully we're not wearing gloves or coats this time. It's nice not to be holding the microphones out.
It really is, and I think this good weather is going to see excellent play on the pitch as well. The players will be able to hold on to the ball a lot more, and we'll get to see a lot more flowing rugby.
Yeah, and of course today we are on 4G. Now we know Worcester Warriors play at 6 ways, which is grass. Do you think that's going to affect them in a way at all today?
Well, this morning on the pitch we had some elite students training, as is their right to do, and we can see the pitch is still in perfect condition, and that's one of the big changes between 4G and grass. But apart from that, Worcester will be used to playing on this. They'll have played in other games, especially Saracens as well. The Stonex Stadium has a 4G pitch, but it'll just be the bounce of the ball off those kicks that they'll need to look out for. But apart from that, they should be good to go.
Yeah. Oh, feeling the sun on my back. It's nice. Get a bit of a tan today. Anyway, alongside today's games, some have already started and a couple will be starting a little bit later on today. So let's take a look at today's matches. So at midday, Exeter Chiefs started their home game against DMP Durham Sharks, and then just started now at 1:30. Wasps will be playing their home game against Saracens, and that will be very interesting to keep in touch with throughout today's game. We'll be kicking off at around about 2 o'clock this afternoon, so in a little bit we'll be seeing Loughborough Lightning start to take on Worcester Warriors. And then a little bit later at 2:30, we've got Gloucester Hartbury taking on Bristol Bears in their home game, and then South Sharks playing their home game against Harlequins. So we know that both teams have now had a little bit of time off, about a week, to get themselves ready, refocus for today's match. But let's refresh our memories of their two previous games.
In form, Exeter Chiefs travel to the Six-Way Stadium to take on Worcester Warriors. The Chiefs came into the game off the back of two impressive home results against Saracens and Harlequins, and they got off to the dream start in the opening 10 minutes when Kate Zachary powered over the line from short range to score her 6th try of the season. Chiefs head coach Susie Appleby made a number of changes to the starting lineup, which included a first start for Welsh fullback Niamh Terry. The youngster marked her debut with a try, and the Chiefs added the extras to take a 12-point lead. Worcester looking to bounce back after defeat to Wasps last time out, and they caused plenty of problems for Exeter's defence. They were rewarded with a try when Jade Shekels showed a supreme turn of speed to secure the Warriors' first points of the afternoon. In the second half, the Chiefs were handed an advantage when Shekels was shown a yellow card. However, the visitors failed to capitalise, and the Warriors hit back when Welsh international Carys Phillips crashed over the line to reduce the gap in the scoreline to just 2 points. Worcester had the momentum and went in pursuit of the third try. However, with 5 minutes to go, it would be the Chiefs who would score next, as Garnett McKinder took full advantage to dot down in the corner and take the score to 10-17. Exeter held on for their 5th consecutive win and secure their first league double of the season, as Worcester record back-to-back defeats.
It was a great game. They were both really tight all the way through, but it just went Exeter's way in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, there were a lot of positives for Worcester to take away from that game. They were really clinical in the line-outs, and especially when they went up to challenge it, they got a number of turnovers. But in the end, it was just, what came down to it was unforced errors that came to haunt them. They had a couple of kicks inside the 22 that just went the wrong side of the try line, and that was the issue for them.
Yeah, we know that Worcester did get a yellow card in that second half. Do you think that affected the rest of the game for them?
I think it was definitely their ill discipline in the first half that put them on the ref's radar. However, they did what few elite sides are able to do. They actually had a positive difference after that yellow card, and that's just a credit to their defensive coaching, and that's something they'll definitely be able to continue into this game. Obviously with 15 players, not 14.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, let's catch up with Loughborough's last game. A couple of weeks ago, it was really tight, nail-biting match against Harlequins. Let's take a look.
The venue for Round 12's top 4 clash might have changed due to a frozen pitch at Surrey Sports Park, but Loughborough Lightning's trip to Harlequins remained a mouth-watering prospect. The visitors flew out of the blocks at Cobham RFC, winning an early penalty and capitalising upon the ensuing territory with phase after phase of forwards play. It was Taisha Harper who eventually crashed over, cleaving through the Harlequins' defence and handing Emily Serret a straightforward conversion. Loughborough swiftly changed gears, replacing firepower with flair, as Helena Rowland fizzed the ball out wide to Abby Brown, who dotted down in the corner to extend her side's lead to 12. A valiant defensive set from Lightning held the hosts at bay throughout a series of pick and goes. But Leanne Riley spotted an overlap on the wing, and her pinpoint delivery unleashed Heather Cowell. 5-12 with 20 minutes played. It was just before the half-time whistle that Gerard Mullin's side struck again. A trademark rolling maul proved unstoppable, and Hannah Duffy, scoring her first try in the quarters, narrowed the gap to just 2 points. Quins kept their foot to the floor and made it 3 on the bounce within minutes of play resuming. Riley took a quick penalty and found Red Rosa's log, Abby Ward, who powered through an unprepared Loughborough defence. Ellie Green added the extras, and the hosts were ahead for the first time. Lightning were held up twice in their attempts to regain the lead, and eventually, after winning a penalty at the scrum, opted to head for the posts rather than the whitewash. Scarrett's kick was good, and a nail-biting finale guaranteed. With just 4 minutes remaining, Loughborough executed a formidable driving line-out, and the league's top try scorer, Lark Davies, added to her tally with a match-winning effort. The visitors saw out a 20-17 victory, and in doing so, leapfrogged Harlequins into second place in the Allianz Premier 15s.
Look at those scores. A beautifully game played by both teams, but it was a beautiful tactical game there.
It was, and Loughborough really benefited from having seasoned kickers at both 10 and 15, as it meant they were able to keep Quins pinned into their half for most of the match, and that they really won the battle of territory there. However, it was a great performance from both backs and forwards, and they came together, and in the end they got the result.
Yeah, but they did have a couple of issues when they did get into the Quins 22, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Just like Worcester, they had a couple of ill-timed penalties in attacking positions, but I'm sure that's something that Rhys Edwards will have brought up in the debrief, and both sides will definitely look to eliminate the penalty count today.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's just refresh our memories from the scores that have been going up and down for the last couple of weeks. So of course we know that both teams that are currently playing today did have a week off. So D&P Durham Sharks against South Sharks, that was 0-47. Harlequins 2019, a very close game there, which will be definitely keeping up to date on that one as we go through the Premier League so far. Saracens, of course, 36-10, and then a little bit later on at the start of this month we had Bristol Bears 22-12 against South Sharks. Harlequins and Loughborough Lightning there with their amazing game, and then Worcester Warriors 10-17. So how does this affect the state of play and in the league table so far? Let's take a look. So there we have Saracens still at the top on 50 points, but Harlequins are not that far away on 46, but we know that Saracens do currently have a game in hand. Loughborough Lightning sitting comfortably there on the third spot, but Wasps not that far away on 40 points, which will make today's game all the more important for Loughborough Lightning. Exeter Chiefs sitting there at 5, and they will be looking to try and get into the top 4 spots there on 34 points. Gloucester Hartbury with a game in hand on 25. Bristol Bears on 22. Worcester Warriors there on 16. South Sharks with a game in hand there on 10. And D&P Durham Sharks at the bottom. So ahead of today's game, we caught up with the head coach from Loughborough Lightning, and it's been a while since I've managed to catch up with him, but it was really good to have a chat with him. So let's take a look at what he had to say ahead of today's game. Thank you very much for joining me on this very warm and sunny afternoon. Very happy, obviously, to be in your shorts today. Absolutely, absolutely. Yep. And of course, Loughborough Lightning slowly making their way up the leaderboard. You must be very happy with this so far. Yeah, it's a long old season. It's a classic thing to say, but in particular this year with COVID and everything, and there's natural breaks, that it's really important that we take every opportunity when we get them. And more recently, I'm really pleased with how we've done that. With a good home win against Bristol, and then gone into the Quins game, which we knew was going to be a big game, and really pleased with how we finished that game off, and obviously got a really fantastic result. So yeah, in a good place. Yeah, I want to talk about that one because I watched that and I was on the edge of my seat. Final couple of minutes. I mean, how did the girls kind of stick together, especially in half time? Pick it up. Yeah, it's a great result, but it's I think more importantly, it's been coming for a long time. It's those games in particular against Quins and Sarries have been really, really close, and we've been on the wrong side of them too many times, really. So going into it, we're really confident. The way we were playing against Bristol and the squad that we've on the depth, more importantly, that we've had over the last couple of games has really put us in a good place. And going in and actually finishing the game in the style that we did, we looked really composed. We backed our process with a line out at the end and Lark getting over. Just reassured actually, we're capable of doing those results. So, great to get the win, obviously, but the manner in the way we did it was probably more pleasing. I guess the girls definitely celebrated after that game. Yeah, they did. They were pretty pleased with it. Yeah. Now we know, obviously, today you're against Worcester Warriors. What have you been focusing on as you're going into today's game? Yeah, obviously the weather, like you said, is a great part of today. We've shown a real kicking game over the last couple of games, and we're probably synonymous with the way we want to play as well in terms of the attacking brand of rugby. So there's an opportunity to be clinical and efficient in terms of how we play with ball in hand, and whether that's running it or kicking it. Playing in the right areas is obviously the first part of that. But I just think it gives us an opportunity to build on that momentum, like we've said many times, and actually just to show what we can do with the ball. Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Tokyo, because we know that 4 of your players are going into the GB7's training squad. Is that giving the team a big boost of confidence.
Absolutely. You know, this program's all about development. You know, we set our stall out 4 years ago when we started the program to be the best performance development centre in the world for the women's game, and you know, we're pretty pleased with how we've built that over the last 4 years. But you know, to play an active part in terms of international programs, you know, we've got a big chunk of players out with England in terms of their contracts in Six Nations. We've had a good chunk of 5 or 6 players up in Scotland, and we've got a couple of Canadians. But for me, this is just the added layer of what this program can do, and to have 4 players in that GB7 training squad is huge. You know, it's a great reward for them, and a great journey for them to start now going into Tokyo. So we wish them all the best.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a beautiful day, really sunny. Wish you the best of luck for today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So as I was talking to there with Rhys Edwards, we know that the GB7's training squad has come out, and both teams on the pitch today do have players in that.
They do indeed. Loughborough have 4, 3 backs, 1 forward. No, they're all backs.
Oh,
that's on me.
interesting.
Rona Lloyd and Helen Nelson for Scotland, and then for England, Abby Brown and Helena Rowland, which is really great to see for the club, as we heard Rhys saying. But for Worcester, you know, Heather Fisher and Alex Matthews, both season 7 players, and it's great to see them back on the circuit.
Yeah, we know Six Nations is coming up. I'm sure we're all excited for that, and of course that'll be coming up in around about April. One home game and then 1 away game with a final. You excited for that?
Yeah, I think it's great for the women's game that it's going to be playing instead of alongside the men's game. After it, they're going to get more attention, more awareness and more viewers, which is going to be really great for the game. Obviously both sides without any Scotland representation today because they're off at training camp. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be a really good tournament because it's great to get some sort of competitive international rugby in at all.
Yeah, so if you haven't been watching at home, let's just take a look at the last time that Loughborough Lightning and Worcester Warriors did take on each other, and just let me know kind of what the scores were like as well throughout that match.
Sure. So obviously Loughborough did win that game, and we can see them on the attack here. Rachel Malcolm runs a clever little line and does well to hold on to a slippery ball. However, there are a couple of Warriors missed tackles in this phase, and that's something that, you know, was a theme in Loughborough's scores for this game. But it's brilliant link-up from the 2 Scotland players, and Rona Lloyd does really well there to hold the defender and just allow Abby Brown to get over for that score. And we know that Worcester have been have had quick line speed this year, and here Vicky Laughlin just gets to Emma Hardy a split second too late. That allows Liv Jones to exploit the space left on her wing, and we see some lovely footwork from her to get inside the 22. Crucially, of course, just before she's brought down, she manages to find Rachel Malcolm in support, and lo and behold, it's the 2 Scots linking up again. This time, Rona Lloyd finishing the move with a little stutter step as she slides over. Loughborough's 3rd try came the way of Emma Hardy, but it was Courtney Holtkamp's line that really held the defender there. And we see Emma Hardy just beats Vicky Laughlin with a quick step, catches her flat-footed and manages to get over the line. But it's important to remember that, you know, it wasn't all Loughborough this game. Worcester made a lot of metres, especially from the tap-and-go penalty. And we can see here, you know, Katie Mattinson, she does well just to get the quick tap, catch Loughborough not 10 and burrow her way over the line. But I thought we'd also take a look at the tries from 2 weeks ago. And for me, this was my favourite try of the entire weekend.
Yeah, this is a good one.
As a player, the first thing you are taught is don't catch the ball standing still. And we see here Taisha Harper, she's hitting the line from depth, secures the ball and hits the arms of the 2 tacklers, leaving them no chance to tackle her and breaking the deadlock for Loughborough. And we know that Loughborough were camped out in the Quins' territory for most of the first half, and it's good communication from Helena Rowland and Abby Brown just to identify that space out wide and hit that missed pass. The 3rd try of the game, and obviously the winning try, was a great play from Loughborough's pack.
Look at that.
They secure the ball off the top of the line out, form them all, and of course it's Lark Davis who gets over the line for the Loughborough score, securing her spot at the top of the Allianz 15 scorers. In the Worcester game, you know, they got on the score sheet a couple of times. Jade Sheckles here with an electric first step, and it's that explosive speed that's made her such a threat for Worcester this year. Their 2nd try, as with the Loughborough final one, came the way of the line out and the maul, and I think that's really beneficial for today because we should see a good forward battle between the 2 packs, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, what a brilliant match from both teams, actually. I'm really looking forward to seeing how both teams play out today. And before the coach went into the warm-ups, I managed to catch up with Joe Yap. Let's take a look. Joe, thank you very much for joining. Lovely day for a little bit of rugby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the girls, how are they feeling ahead of today's game?
Really good. We've obviously had a little bit longer to prepare for this game, and it's nice to be out, and like you say, the sunshine being out, and it's a lovely day to play. We've had some pretty awful weather recently, haven't we? So yeah, and it's always a lovely pitch, so yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and just like Loughborough Lightning, you've had a couple of weeks now just to refocus, practice what your strategies are going to be. Yeah. What have you been working on since the last game?
Yeah, so the big focus for us is ourselves, ultimately. There's a few things we've tweaked around our defence, looking at kind of how we keep hold of possession a little bit more within our attack. So, and obviously the extra weekend off has given us a bit more time to do that.
Yeah, and am I right that you've got a couple of players in the Tokyo training squad?
Yeah,
congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Is that a big confidence boost for the team?
Yeah, the girls have worked so hard, and it's been a challenging year for them, isn't it? Not knowing quite what was happening with the 7s and coming back to 15s, but the two of them have worked so hard, and we're really pleased that they've got that. They're in that preliminary squad.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know obviously Loughborough they're a strong team. But what are the positives that you took away from your previous match that you're going to then put forward into today?
Yeah, they are strong, but they're also quite a different team to the one that we played at home with the internationals being back. Emily Serret wasn't playing, Lark wasn't playing. Those sort of players weren't playing last time. So we know that they're going to kind of come with a sort of a different challenge to last time we played them. But at the same time, we really got into it in the second half, and when we kept hold of the ball against them, we did really well in attack. So we know that we've got the players to cause problems, and it's just that confidence really.
Yeah. Anyway, I will let you get back to your team. Practice some warming up, but thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck
All
today.
Right,
so the players have now left the field. They're going to get ready to go. So I think it's about time we join Sam in the commentary box with a very special guest. Over to you, Sam.
Thank you, Rosa. We're here live at Loughborough University, and we're joined today by Canadian international Serret Svoboda. Serret, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. Really looking forward to joining you in this adventure.
It should be a good day. Obviously the sun's out, lovely weather for it. There's very little wind out there, which is, here at Loughborough, it's a bit of a wind tunnel sometimes, but today, no such thing.
Definitely, yeah. I've walked the campus many times and felt like I was going to be thrown off my course, so it'll be exciting to see the girls not have to deal with that element, and yeah, just take it in. Beautiful day for it.
And the sun is out today, which is contrary to many other Allianz games we've had so far this year. Do you think that's going to be a big thing for the captains in the toss, trying to figure out which end they want first?
Definitely. I think the back three could be whispering in their ear about the sun kind of glaring at them in the first or second half, so hopefully they take some advice from those girls who have to manage those high balls and, yeah, just take it all in.
Perfect. And you're unfortunately injured, but what's it been like so far being in the Loughborough camp? And you're obviously third in the table at this point. Are the spirits high going into the rest of the season?
Definitely, yeah. I think that match 2 weeks ago really put a mark on how far we've progressed this season, and coming away with that win definitely energized the whole squad, and I think we're ready to take on Worcester again and put some more points on the board that I think we left off the scoreboard last matchup.
Sure. And obviously it was a tight matchup. We saw some of the highlights there. You were playing in that game, but both teams slightly different from last time. Obviously a few key players injured and on international duty, but how do you think both teams will come into this game?
I think it's awesome to see, as you mentioned in the pregame, that we have Heather Fisher and Alex Matthews injecting some sevens pace into the Worcester lineup, and missing our Scottish girls is a bit unfortunate, but we have Georgia Bradley, as we discussed, filling that really integral spot at the 8-man position, and I think we won't miss a step, and that just speaks to the depth in our program for sure.
And Loughborough's depth is something that they take pride on. Going into the lineups now. For Loughborough, there's one change in the forwards, and that's Kath O'Donnell returning from injury, replacing Anya Richmond. For Joe Yap, there's two changes in the forwards. Carmen Tremelling replaces Laura Thomas in the front row, and another change sees top scorer Sinead Harries move to the bench and Taz Bricknell taking the 6 shirt, pushing Alex Matthews to number 8. For the backs, Loughborough make one change, with Olivia Jones making her long-awaited return to the side after injury. And for Joe Yap, there's two changes to the team that narrowly fell to Exeter in round 12. In the backs, Heather Fisher starts at 12 in place of Megan Varley, whilst Caris Cox makes her first start after returning from a knee operation. the replacements for Loughborough, and it's Anya Richmond taking the 19 shirt from Fran Goldthorpe, and a first selection for Swedish Sevens player Maja Mueller, who recently joined the club. For Worcester, Liz Shermer joins the replacements in place of former Lightning player Joe Brown, and Abby Castle comes in for Laura Thomas. Both Megan Varley and Abby Kershaw fill the remaining back slots after a strong performance last week. And Sarah, I mentioned their new signing, Maja Mueller. What's it been like to have her in the team?
Being injured and being stuck in the gym and the rehab side of things for the most part, I actually haven't had the pleasure of meeting her yet, but I've heard really great things. It's obviously great to have young players kind of push the pace in training, and I've heard it's been no different with the case with her, really challenging the girls in sessions, and as a cheeky player, taking those tap and goes in sessions and pushing the physicality. So I'll be really excited to see what she can bring if she enters the game.
Now, as a forward, I'm assuming those pesky tap and goes aren't the most favourable thing, but a lot of the Loughborough players have Sevens backgrounds, and indeed some of the Worcester players as well. Do you think that that Sevens experience is going to bring some more speed and explosiveness onto the pitch?
Definitely. I think it challenges us, those who haven't had as much Sevens experience, to keep up with that pace and not use those opportunities where the ball's going out of bounds to rest. It's just kind of the next reset, and take the opportunity to really push the pace and energize the people around you. And I think, those people do an excellent job of that in our squad, and I think we'll see the same here today with Heather and Alex on Worcester's side.
Perfect. And there are a number of your fellow countrymen playing. Paige Farries for Worcester, as well as Abby Duguid and
Dalika Menon.
Dalika Menon, yes, thank you. What's it like playing, in a different country from the one that you obviously play for, and get to train with players that you play against internationally?
Definitely, no, it's amazing, and unfortunately as a pretty large country, it's hard to connect. So when we come over here, it's not only great to be training with Abby and Dalika on this side of the ball, but also to be challenging each other all over the league with Paige, based at Worcester. So yeah, it's really great just to take in kind of the brand of rugby that we've been exposed to over here. We bring our experience, and we just soak it up and learn so much we can from the players and the great staff surrounding us.
Of course, because when you do train as an international side, you do get very little time to do that. So obviously training together here and knowing each other, that's an added benefit.
Definitely.
But as I mentioned to Rosa, you have the Six Nations coming up. Obviously Canada not involved, but a lot of these Scotland players from the squad are out there, and we know that Loughborough's strength in depth is excessive. So not excessive, but there's a lot of strength in depth.
Definitely.
What is it like for those sort of players who might have been maybe fringe squad players now getting the chance due to that? Especially Becky Noon, who doesn't often get a start, but she's really shined recently.
No, I think it's huge. As we mentioned before, that depth. We saw Becky really highlight her skill set and talent in the last game, and it's really just about taking advantage of that opportunity when you do step on the pitch. I think we all really support each other and have each other's backs no matter what the lineup comes out to be, and I think that showed in her performance. That's a great example of someone that has really put her hours in with this club, and when she gets the opportunity to take the pitch, it's playing for the logo on the front and not the name on the back or the number on the back.
True squad mentality. Today's fixture will be overseen by referee Nick Wood. John Petzing and Catherine Ritchie will be his assistants. Loughborough obviously coming out onto the pitch now in that classic purple and pink kit. Worcester today will be in their away strip of light blue. But obviously the Allianz 15 isn't playing at full capacity. We have 70-minute matches, as few scrums as possible. What difference do these new rule variations mean for the players?
It's all about, not resting when that whistle blows, because we know it's now turned from a scrum to a penalty, and not that we would ever rest heading into a scrum. That's where you have to kind of bring that pack mentality. But I think it's just about pushing that pace, and sometimes it feels like you're playing like tens rugby out there. It's just that quick tap and go, and it just means using that whistle as a reset and not as a stop button.
And obviously you mentioned that knock-ons and forward passes are no longer scrums, they are free kicks. But do you think that refs are trying to sort of slow it down, or are they trying to keep the pace quick? Because obviously normally players would get that little bit of a break before the scrum, but now, you know, with the quick tap and goes, especially for nines just wanting to go and go and go. Like, do you think that forwards are missing maybe that extra bit of contact, or are they just happy to still be playing?
I think because our scrums are so far and few between, we definitely you know, take advantage when we get there, and we come in with that mentality of this could be our first and last of the game, or second, or, you know, 2 of 3 kind of thing. So I think, yeah, forwards, we definitely miss that opportunity to square off against each other, but at the same time, we're more than happy to, you know, give that ball to Helena Roll and get some meters and, you know, drive in a try off a maul. So ups and downs to the rule changes, but I think teams have done a really good job of adapting so far.
And you mentioned, you know, the boots of Helena Rowland. She's been fantastic kicking from hand this year, and of
Incredible.
course last game Lizzie Golden as well. The two of them in tandem, just giving all those extra meters against Quins. But having such depth, or such a number of players being able to kick the ball, what does that do just as for a mindset? As you know, if one goes down or if someone else has got the ball, you still have the confidence that they're going to perform.
Definitely, yeah. It energizes us in the way that, you know, we have that confidence in so many numbers behind us as a pack. If you see the ball, you know, fall into Helena Rowland's hand, there's no panic, obviously. Lizzie Golden, anyone on the wing, it's these players that have really honed those skills as, you know, kick, pass, carry players, and anytime it falls into any of their hands, it really just gives us that confidence that we can go chase the ball downfield, put in a big hit, or, yeah, get ready for that driving maul line-out.
Sure, and it'll be Karis Phillips captaining the Worcester Warriors game today, as both teams will take a knee. And we're almost ready to get underway here at Loughborough University. The sun is out, there is very little wind, it's a beautiful day to play some rugby, and so I'm looking forward to this contest, I think.
I'm so excited. It's so bright, can barely see, but we'll do our best here to...
There is a bit of light shining straight through the window into our faces, so we do apologise if we get some stuff wrong. But can the Warriors tame the oncoming storm? It's 3rd against 8th, and we're live in the Allianz Premier 15s. Loughborough managing to overcome the first task of the day and take the kick-off, but now the backs will look to play out from their own 22. Abby Brown with a bit of space, she'll cut inside. Jade Shekels with a good tackle. David out to Delika Menet, and there's another pass on. Katie Trevarthen's in space. And a good offload to Kath O'Donnell. But Loughborough with a break straight away. And a turnover. Not enough support there, Sarah.
Unfortunate to see that. We see Katie Trevarthen put in a huge line break, a nice ball from Delika Menon, and it's really all about stacking more players on those outside defenders and really confusing them as to who's getting the ball, and we see that was perfectly done there by Katie. Unfortunate that we couldn't retain ball there, but let's see how we can flip the switch here and challenge this line out.
Sarah Nicholas with the kick into touch. Of course, it's important to remember that sides can't, you know, maul from outside the 22 to try and avoid contact between players. So it'll be interesting to see how Worcester take this one. It's right down the middle, played off the top. Casey Mattinson just fumbling that ball off the knee and then off the hand, and it's a free kick to Loughborough.
Hang on,
a bit scrappy.
Let's make sure we're 10, please.
Definitely love to see it.
Thank you. Cross forward. Yes?
Hardy now with a long ball out, but met with a strong Warriors tackle. Another broken tackle for Lightning as they make more meters. Big carrying another little offload to Lightning, and Worcester straight on the ball again, but this time the clear out comes. And now they'll look wide. Taisha Harper just can't hang on to it, and Nick Wood decides that one's gone forward. But Loughborough had space there, you know, Worcester drawn in, Abby Brown calling for it, and that's the sort of communication you like to see.
Definitely, you want that confidence coming from the outside, and we talk about that a lot on attack and on D. We want the outside to really let us know what's on, and Abby is definitely confident making those calls.
And from that free kick, the ball has gone out right on the Loughborough 5-metre line. The camera angle just changing for us to see it there. But it'll be Loughborough's first line out of the game in a dangerous position. Go to the middle and secure it well. Megan Davey deciding that she wants a bit of a carry just to improve that pitch position for the lightning clearance that you expect is coming.
Oh, 7 minutes!
It's Helena Rowland who gets the call up, but she drills one down the pitch into touch and just over the barrier, stopping Vicky Laughlin from taking that quick. And that's a good clearance from that position.
Excellent composure by the girls. We see Meg Davies take that half gap, which relieves a bit of pressure, and then we can see the girls hit one pot up, and then that gives the perfect platform to Helena to make that kick and do what she does best.
Karis Phillips with the ball straight down the middle, taken well by the Worcester line-out, and it's Heather Fisher who will carry it for the first time today. Met with big resistance there with a huge tackle in midfield.
Very dominant hit from Katie Trevarthen, again putting her stamp on the game.
And Loughborough deciding the key is to hit hard. Katie Mattinson now, that ball just bouncing off a Warrior's chest into the hands of Loughborough Lightning, and now they'll have a...
You did have advantage, that's
they
a clear
had
out on the net.
Chance, and now it's
clear on the net.
Turnover.
You did have advantage, that's a dangerous clear.
A clear it on the neck, I hear, so it's unfortunate to see we've turned that over. We see that pressure that, again, Katie Trevarthen applied. She didn't even need to tackle the player just by closing down, forcing that pressure. We see the ball turned over to Loughborough, but then unfortunately we hear from the ref that there's been a clear it around the neck, and obviously head and neck safety is something that refs are really trying to enforce right now, so we got to give them that.
Safety first, but it is interesting. Lightning have been coming up very quick and hitting hard, and that's something that obviously is in the game plan, just to win those tackles early on.
Definitely, it's putting our mark on the game and really allowing us to dictate the defensive pressure and not allowing them to come to us.
As Worcester win another line out, and it's Worcester looking for the offload. It's not just not coming. However, they are moving forward, and again, lightening up quick, making that early tackle.
Great hit from Abby Dewgood there. Nice to see.
With
some
a
quick
little
feet off the line.
Inside ball from Sarah Nicholas.
Stay.
It's Alex Matthews taking that one in. Loughborough players swarming the breakdown. A lovely little switch from Katie Mattinson, but there's a Loughborough player on the ball. And it's a turnover to Lightning. Helena Rowland puts boot to ball, and that one is flying down the pitch. It's a favourable bounce for Lightning. Vicky Laughlin covers it well, but covered by Abby Brown. As now Jade Shekels shows some of that speed to try and get away from Helena Rowland. Heather Fisher stopped at the gain line.
Thank you.
As now Worcester looks to clear it from outside the 22, so that one had to stay in. Now it's Lizzie Golden with a run. Nice little pop pass to Liv Jones. But now Loughborough playing with advantage for a high tackle. No advantage coming, they'll come back, but great turnover by the Lightning girls.
Absolutely excellent. Yep, nice to see us get that ball really deep. Abby put that pressure on, and yeah, just be patient with that and not try to go for the jackal until it's on.
And importantly, it was a cohesive kick chase. You know, they had 3 or 4 players up the pitch, just stopping Worcester from getting that counter on.
Definitely, and I think that's a huge piece that our coaches try to drive, especially Brad Jones, our defensive coach, that purple wall, pink purple wall, whatever you want to call it. We're coming up together. We're not shooting out of the line. We're all, pushing each other and pushing that pace so that when Worcester looks up, there's nothing but that purple wall in front of them.
Stay in the 15.
Like Davis just overthrowing this one, but it's Dalika Menon at the back of the line who makes the tackle to stop Worcester from breaking away. this ball just outside the 22. But covered well by Liv Jones, and she'll send it inside to Lizzie Gordon. She looks up, looks for the space, little chip through. Vicky Laughlin's covering it though. And now it's the Worcester winger, and she's found some space, but it's a lovely touch, tackle from Emily Scarrett, and she's just forced Vicky Laughlin out.
Yeah, great kick chase by Lizzie Golden there, and she, as you could see, shepherded that winger right into a bunch of Loughborough defence, and Vicky did really well to kind of skirt by a decent amount of them, but then we can always count on Emily Scarrett to make those game-saving tackles and kicks and whatever we need from her.
Well, when you're a former World Player of the Year, this is sort of expected of you. As that ball's turned over by Worcester in the line-out, we know they have a strong line-out.
Tackle move.
And that's the second one they've managed to disrupt of Loughborough's. As now Taz Bricknell takes that one in. Heather Fisher with a strong fend, and she's still on her feet. But Loughborough get a jackal in early.
Thank you. 6, no hands. Stay on your feet. Don't play the 9.
Now Sheckles, dummy. She's found a little gap and she's gained some meters. But again, that African violet wall staying strong. Whilst Worcester just trying to find any gaps in that armour. But now it's Vicky Laughlin who found those.
Tackle move. Thank you.
Vicky Laughlin's still on the wing. But
really good
great
patience.
pickup. Great pickup from Sarah Nicholas off her shoelaces there. But it's a big, dominant tackle from the Lightning players. Big fend from Heather Fisher as she just sits her opposite number down. It's a great offload from Worcester there, and you're right, they are patient with it, and it's good that they're not rushing into this, just taking their time.
Penalty advantage.
And now they've been rewarded with a penalty advantage.
Definitely, you can see Katie Madison there really calming her side down, and it's by no means slowing them. They're still coming out of the ball really hard, but she's taking that extra second to make sure that everyone's in place and they can capitalize.
And Katie just going for the little box kick, seeing if there's anything happening, but no. With the safety of the penalty, they'll come back for that. With 10 minutes in, it's been very to and fro so far.
Definitely, yeah. Awesome to see this kind of competition in the league at this stage as well. Everyone's fighting for those top 4 or 5 positions, and yeah, Worcester's really putting their stamp on the game right now.
Stay 10.
This line out inside the 22, so Worcester can and do choose to go for the maul, and it's a good initial shove.
Thank you.
Although that ball's just been lost forward in the maul.
Please
but
don't shout at me. Give me a chance to get the whistle to my mouth.
A great take from the Worcester players, and Nick Wood just telling the Loughborough players not to do his job for him, which we'd love to see from a referee.
Definitely, you don't want to be kind of battling it out with the ref in that sense, and the girls did a really good job to turn that over. That's going to be a huge energizer for the pack. But yeah, no need to get in a tussle there with the ref fighting over what he's here to do.
If in doubt, be on the ref's good side. Always bears well for later.
Always.
Loughborough on the chair, please.
And that was only a free kick, so it will be Worcester's ball. Let's bring that down, as is their right, and now they'll use the backs. Heather Fisher looking to make meters, as she does so often in a 7 shirt.
Thank you.
Katie Mattinson just asking if that was offside. Ref giving her the same treatment as he gave the Loughborough players. And that's Vicky Laughlin who receives the missed pass, but just can't hang on to it.
Really great pressure there again from the outside. It's so huge to have those edges. Abby Brown, Lizzie Golden, Liv Jones, who's on the end, really driving that the line speed from the outside in. So really well-earned turnover there.
Dalika Menin will take that one up, and it takes 2 Warriors defenders to bring her down. Such a powerful carrier, and there's a line break from Lark Davis. She's not really got support, but she'll make the most of it. Brought down by the Warriors fullback. It's a great line break from Lark Davis.
Tackle.
Put us in a really good field position here. Oh, and unfortunate to see another turnover deep in Worcester's end there.
Bit of a theme between the last two games, just giving away unnecessary penalties in the opponent's 22. Is that something that you and the girls had a talk about?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a constant kind of blip on the radar there, that you always want to have that tight support. We see Lark breaking the line there, but if you're the players behind, you know that she's going to be breaking into that 22, and that's an area where we really want to convert. So I think we just needed a little bit quicker support there to make sure that she didn't have to, do that extra roll on the ground. So yeah, definitely something we drive.
Worcester gathering yet another line out. It's a good inside ball.
Stay. Thank you.
Katie Mattinson out, boot to ball. That's a contestable one. It's Lizzie Gordon under it. But it's turned over now. Worcester Warriors. Loughborough players almost stunned, letting her run through them. But now they'll use the backs. Heather Fisher sets off. She's got Vicky Laughlin outside her. She'll use her pace, but brilliantly brought down by Abby Brown out there on the wing. Now it's Taz Bricknell.
Move tackler.
Nicholas with the little hop pass to Flo Long. However, she's lost that forward, and now Loughborough have the knock-on advantage as that one's just pushed back. Delika Menin picks that one up off the floor and makes a few metres before she's brought down. And now Loughborough doing their best from attack from deep. That's a lovely offload from Emily Serret. Abby Brown, quick break. She's got Helena Rowland with her, but she's tackled by Alex Callender. And lovely hands from the Loughborough girls here.
Yeah, excellent little pop out to Abby there from Emily Serret.
Worth asking though, thank you.
Did really well to release her hands as you taught. Just get them over the tackler, pop it out to Abby Brown, and she used her pace to get Loughborough out of trouble. Now Emily Serret, boot to ball, she's gone for the little dink over the top.
Oh.
Liv Jones just can't bring that one in.
Yeah, great sight there from Serret up the side. Would be nice to see that recovered, but nonetheless still in a good field position here.
I can't at the moment, I'm afraid. We can maybe at half time.
Just got a quick. I think someone's been looking out for blood. Actually, Alex Callender. We've got this really interesting metal statue right in front of our commentary position, which makes it quite hard to see some of the action when it goes straight in front of us. So you'll have to excuse us if we can't identify players straight off the bat. But a real back and forth so far, Sarah.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome to see the momentum shift here. And no team is really getting deflated or too excited about it. I think both teams are really playing with a lot of composure, and it's definitely exciting for us up here to see that change of possession and the girls reacting really well to that.
Extra movement, roll after tackle.
So in terms of me on the
So A, stealing extra yards, but also denying, not you personally, that's why the decision down there. Okay.
Very interesting conversation between Nickwood and Lark Davis going on, just as to how many rolls she's allowed on the floor. And it used to be, you could roll as much as you want, but now, the RFU have cottoned onto that World Rugby, and they're like, can't do that anymore. Just keep it to 1 or 2.
No, definitely, and that's a huge thing a lot of our coaches talk about, especially Steve and our breakdown group, about how we really need that support right on each other's butts, and there can't be any airtime between us hitting the ground or hitting the defender and then hitting the ground. Players in this league are just too good on the jackal and the turnover, so that role is probably just speaks to the kind of delayed support, and that's something that we've definitely been focusing on this second half of the season.
Good job, reinforcing.
This might be the first water break that teams are taking where they're actually really sweating and hot. Yeah, it's actually for the purpose of being so hot. This is like summer weather now.
Is it a pain having to have individual bottles, or Does it make it slightly easier knowing how much water you've got left and not trying to find that one bottle that's still got a bit of water in?
It eliminates that, but from my experience, I'm always the one to find mine last as the water people are running away from me and I'm chasing them down. So either I get stuck with a bottle in my hand and I have to throw it on the sidelines, or I just never get my water. I always seem to be struggling to find mine.
Hear the whistles, suddenly javelin water bottles flying.
Honestly.
Off the pitch. Shout of heads.
Yeah.
On the sideline.
4.
Alex Canada just getting her head taped up. But she did really well to recover back and make that last-ditch tackle on I think it was Helena Rowland.
Yeah, definitely. Helena fell, and I don't even think she saw her coming. It was just a snipe from behind. So, yeah, great commitment on the tackle by Alex there.
Let's go, ladies.
The water breaks over and the referee is keen for two sides to get back into the action. We've played about 16 minutes worth so far and it's really been touch and go. Neither side has been able to assert themselves. It's just been a defensive slogfest, Sarah.
Definitely. It seems as soon as either team gets over the 22, there's just that defensive wall up. So great defensive efforts, but we definitely want to see some more attack here.
As Worcester staying on course and winning yet another line out. A big carry from Heather Fisher. But she didn't have any support with her, and just like we had with Lark Davis, Loughborough have forced a turnover in a very attacking position.
Definitely, yeah. Both teams are trying to best each other here with the number of jackals, it appears. So, yeah, awesome to get that turnover, and we'll just want to keep reducing the numbers of turnovers we're producing here.
Will be the boot of Helena Rowland. We'll see how much she tries to bite out of this touchline. She'll put it right in range for Loughborough's pack.
This will be an excellent attacking opportunity here for Loughborough. The last time we matched up, we struggled a bit to convert on the maul off the line out, and eventually found our footing in the second half, so hope we can do that in this opportunity.
It's Becky Noon with the take at the top of the line out. Loughborough do have advantage, and that maul's moving towards the line. Lark Davis with the ball at the back of the maul. And it's a try for Loughborough. So I'm hoping we can use your forward skills, detective skills, to figure out who scored that one.
Yeah, early.
But my original guess would be Lark Davis.
My guess as well. If so, I think that's 15 for her and top of the league table. So, yeah, as long as that initial ripper gets the ball back to Lark, there's really no need to continue to transfer that through hands. So I would guess it would be Lark that would dot that down.
But it was a great forwards move from start to finish. Becky Noon securing that ball at the top, Loughborough setting the maul and just forcing that penalty. Is it a benefit when you know you've got that penalty advantage coming, or is that not something you can really think about as you're driving towards the line?
No, definitely. I think for the players that have their heads out enough to hear that, yeah, it's definitely crucial, to continue to drive towards that line, but then also know you have that kind of second chance if it doesn't end in a try. So excellent to see we got that one right off the bat, though. Great work from the girls.
A kick from Emily Serret, just short, but it's Loughborough Lightning that break the deadlock here in the first half. Loughborough Lightning 5, Worcester Warriors 0. Sarah Nicholas with the restart, and that's a very searching kick, one that Loughborough have done well to recover, but they do have the sun behind them, so they won't have to worry about any of those high balls yet, as Emily Serret sends this one long. Jade Shekels recovers that one off the floor, referee deeming it not to have gone forward, but now Warriors have numbers. Vicky Laughlin just can't hold on to this one. But Worcester using their numbers well there.
Yeah, definitely, and I think they're putting Vicky there in a really good position to break the line. Unfortunate handling error there, but yeah, they're definitely setting her up for some breaks up the sideline. And she has the pace to do it, it would appear.
This is Vicky Laughlin's 51st game for Worcester, having her 50th appearance last week or 2 weeks ago against Exeter. Now, Kath O'Donnell just with a slight forward pass. Katie Mattinson goes for the missed part, releases Vicky Laughlin. She'll take a step inside, and it's Abby Brown who jumps on her back to bring her down. So now using the numbers, Captain Karis Phillips.
Tackle release, that's your free kick advantage over.
Referee informing Worcester to advantage over, and Heather Fisher hits that one at depth, but just can't hold on to it, and it's Lightning now with the free kick advantage.
Yeah, really good line there. If she was away, it could have been clean. Yeah, really good pace, but unfortunate to have the error there.
It's Helen Rowland with the dink over the top. Abby Brown lost that one in the sun, and that's how important that sun, or how much of a difference that sun could make.
Abby looks a little bit confused about a call, so I wonder what she's chatting with the AR about here.
Or maybe the assistant refs told her she's offside and she's got to wait.
Line out here, Worcester ball.
So it's always important to stay on the ref's good side, so let's hope she's kept that one civil.
Definitely.
But it's Worcester now off that sort of mistake from Lightning in an attacking area. They'll set up the maul and get a good initial shove on.
Don't change!
Yeah, really good drive off this maul here, so we'll see what Worcester can make of it.
And this maul's still going as they'll enter the 5 metre line. Loughborough doing their best to get bodies behind the ball, and it looks like it's ripped on the floor there by Loughborough. Indeed it was, however, no one else realised, and the Worcester players fell on the ball, just forcing that turnover. So attacking penalty for Worcester inside the 5 metre line. And you'd imagine, yep, Sarah Nicholas just taps that one into touch. But a great steal from Loughborough, and some confidence can be taken from that.
Yeah, definitely. I think the girls do a good job not to panic in those areas, and just as we know we're trying to convert in the opposite side of the opposite end of the field, we know they're coming in with the same intent, and we really just have to match that. As soon as their feet hit the floor, we're hitting that maul.
That line out gathered well. But struggling to see what Nick Wood's signalling. He's sort of just not straight.
Not straight. Yeah.
Not straight at the line out. That took us a quick second. But first scrum of the game, a rarity in these times. So we'll see how both teams face up with this one.
Definitely. I think from our end, the girls will really go in with a big mentality here to, really drive the standard and dictate the power behind this scrum. And I can just tell that the front row is super excited for this. Dalika, Tatasha, Lark.
They've been waiting a while for this scrum with a week off, so
definitely
big shove coming from both sides here. But a let off for Loughborough as that throw just creeps them straight. That's a good initial shove from both sides, pretty even. But it's Georgia Bradley who'll pick this up and go herself. Abby Brown getting over that ball. Now brought back, Helena Rowland drills this one downfield, and he's got an excellent bounce, and will just go up. But Katie Mattinson looking to take this quick, and does. Vicky Laughlin. But Emily Scarrett up quick with a big hit in the Worcester half.
Yeah, excellent sight by her to shut that down and not allow her to move that ball any further to the wing.
It's Paige Farris that takes that one in. And Worcester now playing with the advantage.
Coming. Play the ball when you're off your feet. No, you're 4. Who's 4? 12 needs to roll.
Abby do good just being pinged for playing the ball on the floor. Obviously pleading innocence, but the referee sees all. Sarah Nicholas just making sure of that one. And the Worcester, apart from that last line out, Worcester have been pretty consistent with their line outs.
There's Mark. Can you hold that space, please? Worcester, the gap's too big at the moment. Okay, just a metre, please. They're holding, just a metre.
They'll go to the front this time. but it's a Loughborough turnover. Ball comes out the back to Taisha Harper falling on that one.
Excellent job by Abby Brown over the ball there. Shows that anyone on the field, no matter the number, can have those skills. It's not just us.
You love to see a winger getting involved in the line-out.
Definitely.
Break to a 10, please, ladies.
Helena Rowland just sending that one downfield.
There's Mark. There's Mark. You got numbers?
It's just overthrown. It's fallen to Alex Callender. But a Loughborough turnover. Both sides seem to be a bit confused as to what was happening there. But Katie Trevathan just went straight through the middle of that ruck and brought the ball back.
Katie's had an excellent first half here. I can't say her name enough. She really put a huge defensive shift in even the first 15 minutes, so it's awesome to see her leading the girls.
What a kick.
Another opportunity for a driving maul here,
Worcester,
so
timing, please. Last time
hopefully we can make this a clinical one and dot another 5 points down here.
This one just overthrown again. The Worcester jumper at the front really putting pressure on Lark Davis to get that ball right in the zone, but it's a knock on from Worcester, so nice chance for a tap and go here maybe. It's Katie Trevathan that takes this one a quick step, but she's tripped up right around the 5 metre line. Dalika Menon now looking for those weak shoulders, but she'll make another few metres. And that's Emma Hardy, and she's over. Brilliant flat pass from Megan Davey there. Skips out the forward pod waiting for it, and it's Emma Hardy who catches Worcester Warriors napping and breaks through a couple of tackles to score Loughborough's second try.
Yeah, excellent to see that finish there. That's something we've been working out a lot with our number 12s. Helen Nelson has been no stranger to that line, and same with Emma Hardy, so it's awesome to see that be rewarded with a try. Really excellent job from her. Really, oh, sorry, I was going to say really high risk, high reward line there. We've seen in training it can go catastrophically wrong with a knock on or an intercept from the other team, but when it goes right, it's really beautiful to see. So excellent job from Emma.
It's very similar to the one Emma Hardy scored the last time these two teams played, but we've seen that flat ball work so effectively for Loughborough, and it's just, as you said, when it goes right, it just catches the defence on their back foot and just hitting those weak shoulders.
Definitely, and it just shows that pace that the backs can hit that line with. Is just really gets the defender's shoulders turned, and they don't even have time to really close down that gap. So awesome to see.
Georgia Bradley taking this one in for Lightning. It's now Helena Rowland with a quick little step. She's got Abby Brown out wide, who looks to step Vicky Laughlin. Strong fend. But that's ripped in the tackle by Worcester, and it's a good turnover in an important position for them.
Yeah, really good work from Worcester there to rip that ball.
Thank you.
Karis Phillips taking that one up. Now Sarah Nicholas will go out the back, just skips Heather Fisher. But it's Alex Matthews who'll take this one, and she's showing her sevens calibre as she makes metres down the pitch. Worcester go quickly, and it's Katie Mattinson who goes for the quick show and go. Our referee's called maul there, and that ball's not coming back, so it'll be a turnover and it'll be a free kick or a scrum to Loughborough. Either way, it'll be Loughborough's ball.
Yeah, interesting phase of play there. I think it changed hands at least 3 times, so.
Scrum, ladies.
Good on the ref for keeping things straight here.
It will be a scrum, second scrum of the day, and that last scrum very even between the two packs.
Yeah, definitely. I think Loughborough did a really good job to set the height, and Worcester did an awesome job to match it. And we didn't see, either Loughborough or Worcester popping up too much from that, so it seemed like both teams really brought that pressure, and that's awesome to see the caliber of scrums in this league.
Bind! Set!
So Worcester getting the initial shove on there.
Stay there, 7. Stay bound, 7.
Lightning have recovered this ball. Bradley will give it to Davey. And that's a quick pop pass to Emily Serret. But Loughborough looking for quick ball, and that's going to be a penalty. I think the ball's been slapped out of the 9's hand there.
Yeah, really good tenacity from the D there, but yeah, just a knock on in that attempt to intercept, it looks like.
It's almost a good penalty to give away. There were numbers out wide for Loughborough there.
Definitely, yeah.
On those tactical dark arts penalties that you get told don't make it too obvious.
Right, and she's midfield, so why not kind of take that risk there, and maybe if she was a step further, she would have had that intercept, so no harm, no foul there.
On the line, Worcester.
Apart from the fact it was a penalty.
Yeah, could have been worse.
Hold.
And that one's Kath O'Donnell who'll recover that one. Emily Serret now with the long ball out to Lizzie Golden. She'll take a step, but met by the blue wall that is the Warriors barricade.
Release
7. Now
just
takes that one out.
Thank you.
After playing same way, there's another flat ball in. It's to Taisha Harper. She's got Emily Serret on her outside, and she's away. She's going to go all the way, and she will. What a try, Loughborough. And it's another one of those flat balls that we were just talking about. To Taisha Harper taking it at speed, and this time there was support on her outside shoulder. Emily Serret, who you're not catching her when she's at full speed. A beautiful third try for Loughborough Lightning.
No, that was excellent. There's a huge smile on my face because I think that's something that we've been working on so much as a team, that shape where, you know, we kind of have that first forward kind of eclipsing the pass to the defense, and when it crosses the face of her, it hits that outside player, like we see Taisha Harper running at pace there, and then, yeah, as you say, when Emily Serret's the finisher, you have no doubt that that's getting dotted down. So excellent work from the girls there.
And it's Emily Serret's job now to take the kick. Just having a quick bit of water, just get the breath back.
Oh, 100%. These are the ones when you're converting your own, you really have to take that time to calm your breathing, make sure you can get that routine down, and yeah, don't rush it. You have those 90
Whose idea
seconds.
was it to make me kicker?
Yeah.
But an excellent passage of play from Lightning there. All came from that turnover penalty, securing ball at the top of the line out. As this kick just pulls to the left of the left upright. So the score now 17-0, but Loughborough really finding their paces now.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've, you know, tried to punch the ball around in different shapes all over the field, but that's clearly been our most successful. We've seen Katie Trevarthen have a couple line breaks with that, and then no different there with Taisha Harper. And yeah, as long as you have those backs supporting you, or even forwards off either side of your shoulder, you know, it's really a promising line.
And Worcester kicking off the fourth time today, covered well, and it's Georgia Bradley who will take this one in. Helen Rowland, long pass out. Abby Brown gathers this one from the floor, steps back inside, but the assistant referee's decided this one's gone forward, and it'll be a free kick to Worcester in the Lightning 22.
Yeah, Emma Hardy under a great amount of pressure there, so really good for her for getting that away quickly. Unfortunately, it did travel forward there.
Katie Mattinson with the tap and go, and it's Amelia Buckland-Curry who will take this one in. Now Phillips.
Timing left. Hold.
Worcester looking to pick and go around the fringes, just testing those Loughborough guards. They're now up to the base of the post. Worcester with numbers out wide and the penalty advantage. Now Katie Mattinson going for the cross kick. Vicky Laughlin's underneath it. She'll... Oh, just couldn't hang on to it. Fingertips. Under pressure from Abby Brown, just couldn't hang on to it, but good heads-up rugby from Katie Mattinson to know she's got the tap, to know she's got the penalty going as she sprints back to look at tap and going.
No, definitely. You love to see players kind of experiment with that and take advantage.
And they do. Worcester Warriors drive all the way up to the line. Held up, says the referee, and that'll be a 5-metre scrum, but Worcester now challenging the pink and purple line.
Definitely, we've seen some great phases of play from them, and as soon as that penalty was awarded, there was no hesitation from Katie there to kind of push her forwards, towards that try line. So really good.
Okay.
Leadership from her.
First, please.
And of course, you can't now say you want to choose the scrum from the penalty. So even if you do have scrum dominance, that's something you've got to think about. But there was no chance they were going for 3 there. They want the try.
Definitely, yeah, great heads up rugby here for them to really push the pace.
And Worcester getting a strong initial shove, picked up at the base. Mattinson out wide, Paige Farries. She breaks one tackle and she's over. Great try for Worcester Warriors. Goes through the hands, Matthews, Mattinson, and then over the line goes Paige Farries.
Yeah, awesome try there from finisher Paige Farries, who is one of my Canadian teammates, so awesome to see her put her mark on the game. She's a finisher through and through, so awesome to see them get that ball out to her and allow her to do what she does best.
When you're in those one-on-one situations out wide, always got to back the ball carrier. They know it's always tough as a defender. Just you've got to guess whether they're going to cut left, cut right, if they've got support. So it's good to see Paige Farries backing her own speed and just heading for that line, and a lovely little tap over the line.
Yeah, excellent. No, dotted it right over. That's awesome finishing skills from Paige there.
A challenging conversion now for Sarah Nicholas.
Neither team has put each other in the spots for the easy 2 points, so we'll see if she can deliver on this one here.
And she'll make it.
Impressive.
Great kick. And referee signals that is half. Great try for Worcester to end the half, and a lovely conversion. They'll definitely take some momentum from that going into the second half.
No, that's absolutely huge to get on the board at the end of the first half and really, start the second with some momentum. Although Loughborough's had some amazing tries, it's Worcester's done a really good job to put the points up, and they can restart that second half knowing that they've been able to breach that purple wall.
Well, the score here at half-time, Loughborough Lightning 17, Worcester Warriors 7. It's been back and forth for most of the first half until Loughborough Lightning found their stride, scoring 3 tries on the bounce before Worcester, right at the end of the half, coming back into it and scoring through Paige Farries right in the corner. But Sarah, it's been as I said, very back and forth to start, but the Loughborough pack showing its dominance sort of in those 2 maul tries and then again in defence.
Definitely, yeah. It's great to see the girls, hone their skills there. We've obviously been really lucky to have Sarah Hunter as a player coach, and she really drives that mentality in the line out. And when we get in the 22, there's no questions asked what we're doing with the ball there. And it just comes down to discipline and driving us forward and dotting that ball down. So awesome to see there. And then even in open play as well. So exciting to see the girls kind of get those line breaks, whether through Deliga, Katie, Detaisha. So it's awesome to see the girls really leading and then allowing the backs to finish.
It's been those flat balls for Loughborough, which has been a hallmark of their attack this season. And we saw Emma Hardy scoring off her one, Detaisha Harper making a great line break. And as you said, it seems like Katie Trevarthen's been everywhere on the pitch so far.
Yeah, definitely. As I said at the start of the game, she put in a huge defensive shift to put her mark on the game, and she's been just as present on the attacking side of the ball as well. So awesome to see her leadership, and we know she has a wealth of knowledge as a coach, and she's definitely working her way through those qualifications, and it definitely shows in her ability to lead through her actions there.
Of course, because Katie Trevarthen also Bucks women's head coach here at Loughborough. Did she ever try and get a quick word in at training with that coach cap? It's like, well, actually, we do it this way, and everyone's like, no, Katie.
Yeah, she doesn't shy away from a conversation on the field or a debrief or anything like that, and we all really appreciate that kind of expertise she brings to the game. And yeah, I think she's definitely trying to navigate that player coach, those different hats she wears, but she does a really good job to, command a group. And then when it comes to the playing side of things, she doesn't really need to say anything at that point. And as you can see, she just demonstrates it with her quality of play.
Yeah, and important to talk about the young players in the squad. Taisha Harper, England under 20s, but she's really shone for Lightning this year with a lot of line breaks, a lot of strong carries, and she's become a very important part of that front row.
Definitely, and I think by virtue of age, a lot of players can, fall to the background and allow other players to kind of step up and find their footing. But she's wasted no time inserting herself into this lineup and really putting her hand up for a starting jersey. And so many games we can see last week or 2 weeks ago against the Quins, she dotted that first try down, and I think her leadership at such a young age is really inspiring for the younger girls joining the squad.
Yeah, and obviously it was Emily Serret who got the offload from her there, but Emily Serret, such experience. What does this and obviously new signing Jill Burke for the forwards? Like, these players have such experience. Is this like how do the new players grow with these players?
I think a lot of it comes down to just allowing that space for them to share that experience and listen. I've learned so much through those players and all our internationals. So it's really just taking that opportunity when they say something, and Emily Serret isn't one to talk much, but when she does, you can hear a pin drop on the most busiest days on campus, because whatever she's going to say is going to carry a lot of weight, and yeah, we all really perk up to just grab whatever kind of knowledge and wisdom she's going to impart on us.
But it's important to talk about Worcester as well. Their first half, obviously they started off really well in defence, and their line-out has been a great part of their game so far.
Yeah, definitely. They've used that as a platform to start their attack, and unfortunate that they weren't able to keep that ball straight in our 22, just 5 or 10 meters out. But yeah, they've definitely used that as a platform for their attack, and they've taken that on really well. And yeah, great to see the two teams competing in the air there, because they both have such strong skills in the air and on the ground. Welcome back, and welcome back, Sam. I know you just ran down the stairs, so you had to
a little bit out of breath, Rosa. But
You made it.
Yeah, here. Great first half of rugby.
Yeah. Just take me through what you've seen so far.
Sure. Well, as for the first half of the first half, it was all touch and go between both sides. But Loughborough found their stride. 3 quick tries, some great line breaks from the players. But important to note, Worcester scoring just before half-time. They'll take a lot of momentum from that going forward.
Yeah, and of course now Loughborough Lightning will be facing towards the sunlight. Do you think that's going to affect them at all?
Yeah, we saw a lot of kicks from the Loughborough players into the Warriors half, and they did really well under the high ball, so definitely expect Warriors to test them with the high ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And still a beautiful day, and the sun will start getting a little bit lower as well. Do you think that's going to play an advantage to Worcester Warriors?
The sun, fortunately, is going the opposite way instead of being right in the faces, so I doubt it, but it's always something to note.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be back in a little bit. Okay, let's take you through the scores from up and down the country. So Exeter Chiefs finished their game against DMP Durham Sharks with a very big win, 76-5. And then Wasps against Saracens. Saracens have continued their
scores so far on 24 against 19, but that game is still going on, so it'll be very exciting to see how that one ends in the next 10-15 minutes. Loughborough Lightning, of course, there as a refresh, 17-7 at half-time, and Gloucester Hartpury currently on 7-0. They would have just started their game against Bristol Bears, and South Sharks still on 0-0. So we will be back in a little bit to talk about the game so far. See you in a minute. Okay, so let's just go through the game so far. So at the start, I think it took Loughborough Lightning a little bit of time to warm up, and I think Worcester as well.
I think it was both great. It was great for both teams. They had a really strong defensive set, a lot of big tackles, and a lot of turnovers for both sides. We can see, just Worcester getting involved, Lightning, but neither side really made the most of any of their possession. Although Worcester very strong at the line out so far. We saw they've only lost one, and that was an unfortunate one with just a not straight call in the Loughborough 22. But a lot of momentum can be taken from both sides.
Yeah, and I know that Worcester, as you said, they've been fairly good on their attacking today, but Loughborough is still holding the defence well.
Yeah, that Loughborough line is getting pummeled with attacks by the Warriors, and they've managed to break through at the end, which will be a real confidence booster for them for this second half. Just wore them down. So I think Lightning will be quite happy to go in for a little bit of a break after putting such a big defensive shift in.
Yeah, what about the handling errors as well today? Because I think both teams have had equal levels of problems with their picking up the ball and not catching it in time.
Yeah, there's been a couple of balls put down on the floor, and I think at the start, it was just down to teams not fully warm into the game. Them trying moves that they said, let's do this in the pre-match thing, and then maybe not the right opportunity. But since then, both teams have been pretty secure with the ball. We've seen a lot of the handling errors, as you say, they've come from the players hitting the lines hard with a lot of speed, which is just what a coach wants to see.
Yeah, and of course, what do you think that Worcester will now be talking about during half-time in order to get back out there ready to go?
I think they'll be doing a lot of the same. It'll be stuff like just capitalise on the opportunities they have, as well as just keep attacking the 22 as they've been doing.
Yeah, and of course we can see Loughborough heading out back onto the pitch now. What do you think they've just been discussing?
Eliminate the mistakes, eliminate the turnovers. They've had a couple of penalties that maybe have not gone their way. So Reece will be like, let's cut this out. Same as Joe Yap, they've both been in attacking positions where they've given away turnovers, which both coaches will want to eliminate.
Yeah, and how's the conversation been with Serret up there? Of course, I haven't got to speak to her yet, and I know you've been having good conversations.
It's great to have the perspective of a forward. Obviously, when I play, I'm a back, so it's nice to get another perspective on how each section interacts.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure she's looking forward to getting back out on the pitch with the girls. But they've had a really good match so far, and I think they'll be looking forward to trying to get this match in their win. Anyway, we'll be taking a quick break, and I think we'll be starting the game again for the second round, so we'll be back in very shortly.
Oh, it's beautiful. He's gone for the line. He's over the line. That's the goal was good save.
And that is another try for the
husband.
That is another try for England.
Welcome back to Loughborough University. Loughborough Lightning are leading this fixture 17-7. Worcester Warriors just appearing from their dressing room now and taking the pitch. Serret, interesting second half coming up.
I'm excited, yeah, it's been a great battle so far. We saw the momentum switch back and forth several times throughout that first half, and like I said before, really awesome for Worcester to get on the board, but Loughborough's going to want to continue to put a few more points up there as well.
Helena Rowland getting us underway in this fixture, and she'll send this one deep into the Warriors 22. Vicky Laughlin bringing this one up.
Too long,
and
mate, thank you.
Is met again with two Lightning tacklers. Phillips now. And Sarah Nicholas sending this one high, testing the Lightning defence under the sun, but covered well, and a little chip over the top. Heather Fisher charging back to take this one, and she'll get away from Lizzie Golden. Mattinson just making sure that Warriors are organised as she sends a little box kick over the top. Covered well by Helena Rowland, gives a little stutter step, breaks one tackle.
No, 6. Through the gate, please, stay.
And that's Menin. Still going is Dalika Menin. Now Anya Richmond gives it to Georgia Bradley. She's got space.
No,
brought down just before the line. And now it's given out. Big tackle from the Warriors defence. Megan Davey goes the other way. Anya Richmond looks to dummy and go herself.
Okay, we're gonna come.
No advantage coming there. Offside, Worcester Warriors, penalty to Loughborough, and action straight out of the gates here.
Time off. Wait. Okay. Time back on. Worcester offside.
From Anya to inject some pace into this game.
Loughborough choosing to go for the line out here, as it proved so effective for them in the first half. Helena Rowland making no mistake putting this one out on the 5.
Lark Davies definitely getting excited for her opportunity here to put another one away, so let's see how clinical this one can be.
Oh, she covers it after being knocked back off the top. No more form, but it is Lightning ball. The forward pod set up, and it's the Taisha Harper who carries this one in. Around they go again, and Katie Trevarthen requires a couple of Warriors players to take her down. Emma Hardy now. That blue line just pushing back. Lightning having to fight for every metre they make. But it's Menin, and she's still going. But a big tackle. And it's stolen by Worcester. Jade Shekels now. Great turnover for Warriors in their own 22. As I say that, it's stolen by Megan Davey. This ball's going backwards and forwards. Emily Scarrett picks this one up from the base.
No, 4. Thank you. 5 still on the wrong side.
And now Katie Trevarthen.
Move 2.
Loughborough looking to set some structure here after a bit of chaos ensued. But Dalika Menin now. Again, 2 Warriors players take her down. Helena Rowland gives it out to Emily Scarrett. Drop down onto the boot. It's Abby Brown out there. It'll bounce for her, but Vicky Laughlin's got her covered.
Stay.
Yeah.
Lark Davis just running for that inside shoulder, looking to bring the ball back in field. The Taisha Harper at speed. She has absolutely bodied Cara Brink out there. And now Rowland with the missed pass. Liv Jones is back, but she'll make it, and she's over.
Excellent finish from Liv Jones there.
Liv Jones just caught unawares that that missed pass was coming, but her natural pace, she got there. Great vision from Helena Rowland to see that pass.
And Liv also celebrated her 50th cap, I think 3 games ago, so awesome to see such a senior player, you know, dot her mark on the game and really start the second half off well, so excellent job for Liv there.
Some great phase play from Loughborough there, just not going their way at the line out, and a couple of scrappy turnovers on this near side, but structure was implemented, and Datisha Harper, what a carry.
Excellent job by T there, as we call her, to really break that line and, yeah, caught that defender a little flat-footed and sent her flying backwards. So that's going to be a huge confidence boost for our forwards to know that when all else goes wrong and all else fails, we can definitely take that ball hard into contact and set up a really good platform for our backs to score, just like Liv did there.
Route 1 rugby. Now, Emily Serret had to take the flag on the 22 out for this one.
Another wide one for Skaz here.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's looking good. It's got the legs.
Beautiful.
It does have the legs. What a conversion. And Emily Serret looks at Sarah Nicholas and says, anything you can do, I can do too. But Loughborough Lightning, Rhys Edwards will be very pleased with that start, won't he? And this restart able to be challenged, but it's Abby Duguid that takes this one.
Still in.
Emily Serret, ball pass back into the 22. Katie Mattinson covers it well. It's a little switch play between the two with a long ball to switch the play. And it's Karis Cox now with the carry. She's got numbers outside her, but also space, and she'll take it on.
Not now, second bite. Leave her, leave her.
And that ball's looked like it was ripped in the contact, and indeed it is. Loughborough with another turnover. Becky Noon now. And it's another kick over the top from Loughborough. That ball will check up, and it's Paige Farries underneath it. Good shovel pass offload. Now Heather Fisher sends this one back inside. And Warriors just trying to set some structure here to set up an exit. As that's a big carry, making some meters for Warriors. Katie Mattinson with the box kick. Covered well by Liz Golden. She'll take a step inside, but Warriors have players over that ball. Now Becky Noon again with the carry. Georgia Bradley takes this one from Helena Rowland. Options, and it's Emily Serret on the inside. She's got Helena Rowland with her, who can't hold on to the ball. And Emily Serret with an excellent break. She had support, and Helena Rowland just couldn't hold on to that one.
Changes from Worcester.
I don't think we'll ever see that again from Helena Rowland. That's, yeah, that's a really tough offload for her to gather there, but she does have the stickiest hands, and any ball that you think is out of her reach, she holds on to. So she won't be too happy about that, but we're in the right area of the field to be taking those kind of risks.
And Worcester Warriors with the pressure there, just forcing that mistake from Helena Rowland, saving a try, and it's a big clearance now from Sarah Nicholas. That ball just checks up on the rubber crumb. And Loughborough looking for a bit more territory as they'll send this one back into the Warriors' half. And that one's sent over the heads of the Lightning defenders. Helena Rowland. Oh, we're into kick tennis. Here we go.
Forward's favorite part of the game.
Thank you.
Oh, here we go. There's not going to be a kick here. And that ball's flat, just passes the 3 Loughborough players.
Good cleanup by Abby Duguid there.
Good to see it. When the ball's bobbling on the floor, just hits it. And Emily Serret trying for the quick hands, but that's very quick, quick up by the Worcester line, just forcing that mistake.
Free kick or a line out?
Yeah, it's tough in that transition game, that rugby tennis in a way where it's back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes as a forward you feel like it's better to stand still and just wait for the storm to pass over, but yeah, it's difficult to recover from that, but the girls will want to have a really good defensive front here.
It's Brooke Bradley who will take the tap and go there. She's come on for Katie Mattinson. And she'll send the long pass out to Paige Farry. She's got a step on Liv Jones. And well sealed off by the Warriors players. Now Sinead Harris takes that one in. Heather Fisher looks for that long ball, sees Abby Brown flying up and just resets, but Jade Shekels will now cover that one. And Loughborough will do their best to try and hold this up, but Warriors have secured that ball and are making meters now.
Still got 2 guys there, stay.
Bradley choosing the blindside option.
Tacklers move!
Dalika Menon saying absolutely not. And Bradley looks again down the blindside, a couple of meters made.
Not on ball, thank you. Pulling the player's legs. Hands out, 14, just on your feet, stay.
Heather Fisher there, trying to receive the pass above her head, just couldn't hold on to it. And Loughborough will recover that ball inside their 22. But a good attacking spell from Worcester.
Yeah, an uncharacteristic handling error there again from Heather Fisher. I think she'll be a little upset about that. But yeah, as you said, ball didn't exactly meet hands, and Loughborough did a really good job to maintain composure there and turn it over and get it into the hands of Helena for the clearance kick.
Who decides, instead of going for touch, that she's going to send this one down the middle. And Paige Farry's covering that one, but
fancy little pass there.
A little over the shoulder pop.
A Sunnyville inspired pass, it would appear.
But it's not quite paid off as that ball's not recovered, and there'll be a Loughborough free kick. Harper to take this one in, to use Menon on her outside, who wasn't held, so she'll get up and go again. Just looking to get that knee down for the tackle.
That is a maul.
And it's been called a maul. So this ball needs to come back, else it'll be a Warriors ball. Which indeed it is. Warriors doing well to stop that ball right there.
Awesome shift by the Warriors there. We've seen all game that Dalika and Detaisha have been incredible ball carriers. So for them to hold Dalika up, that's a pretty impressive accomplishment right there.
And now just our third scrum of the game. Both teams winning their respective scrums, so hopefully we'll get another good shove from both sides here.
Yeah, we'll want to see the Loughborough back row peel off really quickly here and put in a dominant tackle. And yeah, you're right. Both sides have really done a good job to produce off the back of these scrums. So we'll see what Worcester can offer here.
Brooke Bradley with the put in here, but it's Loughborough who've managed to turn this over with a massive push. Helen Rowland with the chip through, Liv Jones on it, but this will come back for a Loughborough penalty. 7, that's Alex Callender not staying bound until the ball's out. And as a flanker, you just want to get off the line and hit the 9.
Yeah, that's definitely the mentality. You want to contribute to the scrum right until the last second, but at the same time, you're really frothing at the mouth there to make that hit on the 10 and the first receiver, and we saw Megan Davies did a really good job to get that ball off, even though she was hit by the 7 there.
And Helena Rowland with another kick into the Worcester 22, and this one right around the 5-metre line. So Loughborough looking for probably another, you'd imagine, set maul. As they go to the middle, Warriors try to disrupt it, but they're not able to. It's covered well. And now the shove is on. It's Lark Davis at the back with this ball. And they're brought down just short of the try line.
Release!
Harper pick and go from the base, can't quite get there. And that one's held up, but good pressure from Loughborough at the line.
Yeah, good recovery off that first push, we saw Lark presented that back really cleanly, and she, after not being able to touch down, but really great composure by the girls and Taisha by trying to drive that next one in, and unfortunate for that one to be held up.
Megan Davey just going searching for that ball, which is hiding behind the Warriors scrum. But encouraging signs for the Loughborough scrum there. Big shove on an opponent's ball, so now you'd imagine advantages with them for their own put-in.
Yeah, I think the girls will be really confident in this position, and as you mentioned at the start of the game, we have Kath O'Donnell back. She's a huge asset in the second row there, so it'll be great to have that, a player of that caliber and strength, adding that push from behind.
And the ball's in, and the initial shove is looking good for Loughborough as they're making a few metres, but now it's stalled. It's Georgia Bradley who picks it up, steps the line and is hit with a huge tackle there. Worcester managed clearing out, had hands on, but it's a good clear by the Lightning players, and now they'll work their way closer to the line. And New Richmond with the pick up there, but she can't quite make it, and Worcester stuff Lightning again out the line. And they're over. That's a nice pick and go from the base. Can't quite see who had the ball.
Looks like Abby Duguid.
I think it's Abby Duguid.
Awesome.
There's a war of attrition happening there with the forwards. Pick and go, just wearing the Warriors defence down.
And it's so great to see all the girls step up. There's not just 2 or 3 players that are confident taking that ball and nose diving for the try line. Abby, as tall as she is, can do that work just the same as our shorter front row members. So it's great to see Abby putting in a shift there and dotting that try down.
Left you hanging.
It's a good forward play, first winning the line out and then showing dominance in the scrum. That's got to bring a heap of confidence for the rest of this game.
I think, yeah, Sarah Hunter will be really pleased with that, and the forwards have definitely put their mark on the game, and we're continuing to really drive the standard, so I think the coaching staff will be really pleased with their efforts so far.
As Emily Scout just makes sure of this one, but you mentioned Sarah Hunter there. Obviously, she's unfortunately still injured, but has taken up coaching duties with the side.
Yep, Sarah's, as long as she's been at Loughborough, from what I understand, she's taken on that player coach role, and it's just such an amazing opportunity to learn from someone that has over 100 and some caps, and it's been, yeah, a really great opportunity to learn from her, and she obviously is a teammate with the England squad with a lot of these girls, so it just builds that cohesion, and then at Loughborough, you know, it gives us that opportunity to learn from someone that's played for decades now and just really understands the game inside and out. And I know from a lineup perspective, me and a lot of my Canadian teammates have mentioned how she's really kind of driven the standard in that area, and how every line-out session we leave with our heads wanting to explode because she's just instilled us with so much wisdom, and yeah, we just have that extra bit of confidence every time we step on the pitch with her.
Well, we're now in another water break, which I'm sure the players were very much looking forward to, because the sun is out, there's not a single cloud, and it is roasting down here at Loughborough University.
Yeah, I'm assuming that heat is bouncing right up off the turf, and luckily we're not into the summer months yet, but I'm sure it's a nice switch from having to, you know, put our hands in our armpits and in our pockets to make sure those are warm, so must be nice for that switch up today.
Especially with the 4G turf, that rubber's going to heat up a little bit and then also reflect that sunlight, so it's getting warm down there.
I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of girls left with some burned cheeks today.
Hang on. Okay.
It's another strong restart, which is challenged for well by Alex Matthews, but covered by try scorer Abby Duguid. Emily Scout gets a boot on this. Does well to keep that in before it goes out. Brooke Bradley looking at taking that quickly, but good clearance from Emily Scout.
For sure, and really great follow-up there by wing substitution Ellen Ramsbottom there to not allow that quick line-out go. So great kick and great intensity on the follow-up there from Ellen.
Worcester gathering that line out in the middle and bring it down. And now Sinead, top scorer for Warwick. Sinead Harris carrying that one up, making meters as she goes. But now Warwick's looking to break out of their own half, and it's a good offload on the floor. Bradley just looking at sending this one quick, and Worcester have got a penalty advantage. But now they space out wide. It's a good slowing tackle, allowing players to get back for Lightning. But Worcester now looking to respond after that Lightning score.
Yeah, really good intensity here from the Warriors. They're really pushing the pace here and challenging the Loughborough defence.
And that's a great tackle from Emily Scarrett just to wrap that ball up and prevent the offload, but it will come back for a Worcester penalty.
Your penalty.
It's a great line break from Worcester to make those meters.
Yeah, that was a great effort up the left side wing there. Really good tackle put in to slow the ball down, as you said, but yeah, great to collect those meters and then, yeah, bring it back to that advantage.
This ball not quite making its way into touch, and now Loughborough have a chance to counter here. Abby Brown with a little bit of fancy footwork before taking it into contact. Harper with the offload. Now it's Emily Scarrett with space out wide. She'll give a little chip. It's Abby Kershaw gathering this one, and she'll set off towards the other side of the pitch. There's a bit of a scuffle going on.
Right, hold the ball. It's going to be your scrum to restart.
Between Sinead Harris
Put the ball down.
And Abby Brown.
Step away. Step away. Step away. Time off.
And I'm hoping the assistant ref will let us know what happened, because I was so caught up on the action I totally missed it.
Me too. I just caught the tail end of that argument.
From this side.
Well, the referees in discussion over what's going to happen here. They're going to bring the two captains in.
Spirit of the game. It's not a spirit of the game in particular.
Both players being told it's not in the spirit of the game. I think they're going to go back down into the Worcester half for a restart there.
Yeah, unfortunate we didn't catch the start of that conversation, but yeah, that's not what rugby's about at the end of the day, so hopefully we'll just walk away with 2 warnings here.
No, scrum.
And it'll be a
Both
Worcester
sides
scrum.
guilty of pushing and shoving. Okay, you had the ball. We'll restart here. Scrum.
Referee using its technical term, pushing and shoving.
Solve it yourselves, please, ladies.
Referee having none of it.
Time on.
Making sure both teams are aware that it is not acceptable.
What's the ball? You putting it this side?
No, sorry.
Okay. Let's hold, please, Loughborough. Just wait, please. Worcester, crouch when you're ready. Okay, Loughborough, let's go.
Seconds. Got that on you. Do it in.
8 in. Crouch.
Sink.
Bind. Set. No,
another big shove by Loughborough, but Worcester making sure this comes out quickly. Sarah Nicholas out the back. Jade Sheckles with a little step inside, and a nice little offload to Abby Kershaw off the floor.
Not now.
And Richmond over that one, but she's deemed to have been hands on the floor, and that one will
you're okay.
be a
Then you're off your feet,
penalty
play the ball.
for Worcester. But a good shove again from the Loughborough pack at the scrum.
For sure, I think reviewing the footage back, the girls will be really happy with the pressure they've put the Worcester scrum under. Unfortunate to not turn that over, but they definitely sent them marching backwards.
As Sarah Nicholas makes sure of this
Changes
one.
here. Numbers, Callum. Time's off. Time's off. 12 blue. 12 blue, 12. 12 Worcester.
Heather Fisher
10,
just
12.
making way for Megan Varley.
I don't think she's picked up on the ref's multiple prompts yet.
Let's just wait till 12.
We've missed most of the replacements, but at least we've got one. And it'll be another Worcester line out in Loughborough territory. It's well taken. Bradley now slinging it wide. Barley with her first touch of the ball. Little pop pass.
Stay down, Paul. Stay down.
We do good just being told to stay down, but it's intercepted. Emily Serret reading that one really well. Can't stay on her feet. Just tripped up as she entered the Warriors half, but Loughborough have space that wide, and that's a huge tackle.
Back.
What a tackle by Paige Farris, just making sure Loughborough aren't going anywhere.
Move. Hold.
Now Dalika Menin. Big carry and a turnover for the Warriors. Bradley now trying to send it wide.
Back.
It's another tackle that knocks the ball loose.
Such an exciting string of rugby here.
But Jade Shekels has space out wide. She's in a foot race with Helena Rowland, but it's a lovely offload over her head. And Warriors will get over. But what a turn of pace by Jade Shekels.
Really great demonstration of skills there, middle of the field, stripping Dalika Menin. Again, that's a pretty rare occurrence there. So stripping Dalika, and then those finishing skills off the side with our backs. That was really exciting to see. So good job from Worcester.
We saw an attempt at one of those audacious offloads over the head that didn't pay off earlier in the first half, but it's paid off for Warriors here as they get over the try line.
That's huge to keep trying that, and if something fails the first time, that doesn't discourage you from trying it again, and that's awesome to see her back herself with that pass and know she had that support on the inside.
And it was excellent communication between the two of them, letting her know that she's there. I still don't know who scored that. Totally missed it. The sun is just lowered enough to not enable us to see those numbers, but we'll get a replay for you shortly as soon as this kick is taken. With this kick, and she makes sure straight through the uprights.
And the kick's good, taking the Warriors to 14 points in reply to Lightning.
What numbers that are coming off? 1, 3 and 6 pink off. There's 6, there's 1 and 3.
We saw the replay for that try there, but neither Sarah or I could make heads or tail who scored that one. So apologies to whoever did score it. We've taken a moment away from you. But the score now, Loughborough Lightning 31, Worcester Warriors 14. Loughborough have secured, importantly, that try bonus point.
When you're ready.
Having scored 5 tries already. Helen Rowland putting this one up just enough for Loughborough to challenge, but it's covered well by Worcester, and they'll bring it right back up to the halfway line.
Let go.
Phillips now. Nicholas with the little pop pass. And a good carry there. So that's just knocked on in the tackle, and another big hit from the Lightning defence.
Yeah, huge hits being put in this afternoon.
Okay, when you're ready.
Awesome to see Loughborough get that turnover.
Tackle move, no Worcester.
There's space out wide, and it's Abby Brown who'll make this. She gives it to Meg Davey, little step, brings it inside, and it's a great break from Loughborough Lightning. Abby Brown just making Beyonce Fowler's over that ball, and now it's coming wide. Abby Dogood gives it to Becky Noon, does well to get that away from Paige Farris. That's Lark Davis who'll take this one in. Brought down well by Warriors.
Hold.
Megan Davey just trying to instill some structure in this one.
Clear the tackle, please. No hands, 18.
It's a good clear out by the Lightning support.
Some really good composure here by the forwards to take this in hard and protect it.
No, you've got on her before. Advantage.
Loughborough with the penalty advantage now.
7 in the side.
Fowler out the back. What a little great skills there to catch the ball off the foot. Little kick over the top. Remember, they do have that penalty advantage, and now they'll come back for it.
Yeah, a little tricky play there by Georgia Bradley. Awesome to see her use her foot skills there to maintain possession, and yeah,
position number 7 in the side.
Just kind of take a risk there on that advantage.
Yeah.
Now Helena Rowland kicking for touch. It's almost automatic for her at this point inside the 22, and Lark Davis will take the ball up to the 5-metre line.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to get some of the subs involved in this. So we have Jill Burke on the field and Beyonce Fowler to involve them, and Richmond as well, to allow these girls to contribute to what's been a successful Maul attack from the forwards here.
Becky Noon up in the middle, gathers well, and now Loughborough form that rolling Maul. That ball just working its way to the back. Picked up by Megan Davey. Lark Davis the wrong side, unexpected.
Tackle release, that's a tackle, no hands, Worcester.
But Worcester have managed to stall that drive at the 5-metre line. That's a low pick up there. Lark Davis acting 9.
That's it, stay on your feet to counter, please. Thank you.
That's Anya Richmond out to Davies.
Tackle move. No, she's trying to present, stay.
Another great tackle by the Warriors defence, and they're just pushing Loughborough back. But it's important for them, as Sarah mentioned in the first half, to be patient in scenarios like this. Now it's the inside ball. Another great tackle. And now it's wide. Abby Brown with the little dummy. The Warriors aren't sold, and now pushed into touch. Great defensive set by Worcester Warriors.
Yeah, the girls in blue, they are really backing themselves, and they put in several really good shots, putting their stamp on this defensive effort and really defending that try line with a lot of pride.
Now, it looks like Lark Davies is holding the ball, so that must have come off a blue foot. However I say that, now Lark makes her way towards the subs bench, so we've clocked another change, and it'll be Bryony Fields on.
Bryony is another age grade England player that's recently had the call up to England camp, so it'll be awesome to see her put into practice what she's been working so hard at, trying to break through that England squad.
And a change also for Worcester Warriors, and it looks like it's Abby Smithman that's come on. But now Loughborough with the rolling Maul. They've gone around the corner, and they're over. Great try from Loughborough Lightning. The rolling Maul doing its job, taking Loughborough into the danger position. We're just trying to check who scored that, because it's making it very difficult. But I think we can chalk that up as a Loughborough forwards try. It'd be harsh to give it to any one player.
Definitely. Really great composure there from the girls. Awesome to see that the standard doesn't drop when we change the lineup around a bit. It's always, the onus on the subs to bring that pace back into set piece and open play, and that was really evident there. So awesome job from the girls off the bench.
Loughborough's strength in depth really showing itself there.
For sure, and I think that's a huge strength of teams around the league, to have players jump into the game and not only maintain but raise the level of play and really push those players on the opposite side of the ball that are tired and really challenge them and just raise the standard. So excellent work from them.
And you see how it's sizing up this kick from the far side, just as tricky as the last one. And that one's just missed the right upright. So the score, Loughborough Lightning 36, Worcester Warriors 14. Loughborough really put their stamp on the game. Another competitive restart from Sarah Nichols. That ball's just knocked forward by Abby Duguid. Just couldn't hold on to it. That sun playing a part in the onrushing Warriors defenders. Just getting in her face there.
Abby's had so many strong takes from that exact position, so unfortunate. Yeah, the sun probably got to her on that one, but the girls will just need to regroup here and put in a good tackle.
That's Bradley to Phillips, who now gives a pass flat to Alex Matthews, but it's an interception from the Lightning defence. But that ball just skewing out the back. The receiver not expecting it, and Loughborough now looking to exit from well inside their 22. And a huge collision there in the midfield. Great defensive work from the Worcester Warriors this deep into Warriors half.
Stop.
But Helena Rowland now boots the ball straight down the throat of Sarah Nicholas. And now it'll come wide. Abby Kershaw with this one. She's got Paige Farries outside her. Chooses not to use her.
Let go now, let go. You've been cleared off your feet.
Now Bradley will come same way. Nicholas with the chip over the top. Abby Brown looking to cover it and cool mark, but she just lets that one slip. So now Helena Rowland in a difficult position manages to clear it, but Warriors recover this and then have a good attacking platform from inside the Lightning half, as Jade Shekels can't quite hold on to that one.
Just a penalty, okay, because she is falling, but it's still high.
And a high tackle, unfortunately, as the two players fell.
I think if we were at field level right now, we'd hear a lot of labored breathing back into that back and forth game with the kicks, but both teams done a really good job to manage that and play a really strong transition game.
And as we saw the two players go to ground, there's just been a bit of a clash ahead, so referee signals time off, because player safety is the most important part of the game. But Warriors with some excellent defending there to push Lightning all the way back into their own 22, and even when those kicks came back from Helena Rowland, did well to bring them back up and put pressure on the Lightning players.
Yeah, for sure. We can see the back three really confident there with Paige Farries and the other girls swinging around. They're all in really great support of each other, and you can see there's a lot of backing of their own skills and each other to really punch the ball up. And then, on the defensive side, there's no bit of deflation in the Worcester defense there. They're continuing to challenge Loughborough, and you can see some huge hits coming in, so excellent effort on that side of the ball as well.
That looks like it's Karis Phillips, the skipper, who's down receiving treatment at the moment. Wales international, 50 caps. How important, is she for Worcester Warriors?
Yeah, I think we can see those last couple of collisions she's been involved in, and it's again that player leading by example out there, putting in the shots and really inspiring the rest of the defensive line to match her effort.
Well, the clock on your screen says 70 minutes. I reckon we'll have a couple of minutes more due to tries and stoppages. But this really has been Loughborough Lightning's game, but not for the whole time. They struggled at the start of the first half to get into a rhythm, and Worcester did very well to hold them for the first 10 or 15 minutes. But then they just found their stride and were able to make the most of their forward play, as we see Karis Phillips getting up under her own steam and making her way off the pitch, which is great to see. But we will restart with a Loughborough Lightning penalty for the high tackle.
Oh, hang on. Sorry. So hang on a second. Front row injury. Okay, let's try that again. High tackle. Get there eventually.
Helena Rowland with the long kick into the Warriors 22, but it's an excellent take from Georgia Bradley to stop that. No, not Georgia Bradley, Brooke Bradley. Georgia Bradley's the Loughborough. Two Bradleys mixed up. But now it's a great run from depth from Loughborough Lightning. Abby Brown. But now Becky Noon taking this one in. And Ella Virvas on at 9, looking to go quickly, and it's Abby Duguid who takes this one flat. Oh, it's a break. Helena Rowland. She'll break inside. She's got the angle. She'll get over the line. What a try. What a fantastic individual effort, making up for her drop pass earlier on. She's made the easy try look hard and the hard try look easy.
I was really excited to see her jump into this match. We obviously didn't have her. She was with England duties for the last time we matched up against Worcester, and she's one of those players that spots a gap that you would never see in a million years and ends up on the other side of the defensive line, as we just saw there. So really exciting score for her, and awesome to have her back in the lineup this time around.
Helena Rowland showing why she's been selected for that GB Sevens training squad. Of course, she did have a background in Sevens before moving across to 15s. But what an excellent little line break there. All it takes is one missed tackle and she's away with some electric footwork.
For sure, and I think something a lot of players forget is to straighten up. Eventually someone has to run straight and kind of cut against the grain, and no one does that better than Helena. So I think she, again, really leads by example well there, and just shows what you can do when you straighten your hips up and pin your ears back and go for that try line.
Emily Serret not going to miss that one from in front of the posts. As we see Helena Rowland finishing the try there, just
under two.
Taking on Abby Kershaw and getting the beat on her. It's such a hard job for a fullback. One-on-one, you don't know which way she's going to go, and Helena Rowland's one of the quickest players at 10 in the game. So
yeah, that's a tough matchup. So yeah, no knock on her. That's a tough tackle to make.
And Abby Dogood making amends for the last time out, and she wasn't going to drop this one. And now it's back. Emily Serret with the long kick. Bradley again underneath it. But it's Becky Noon with the tackle, and she's stopped her in her tracks, and in fact started to push her back. And now Sinead Harris just makes a couple of meters on the floor. Now Nicholas out back. Barley's found some space. And it's a little dummy from Brooke Bradley, just brought down around the line again. And now Worcester using those forwards. It's a good gap found, and that offload just being deemed to have gone forward. It looked pretty flat from our position, but referees decided that's gone forward.
That's unfortunate to not retain that ball. They caught the Loughborough D sleeping a bit around the breakdown, but yeah, unfortunate that they weren't able to hold on.
Now it's Emily Serret with a little dink through for Abby Brown. Paige Farris shepherding it, but there's both players going for it at the same time. But Abby Brown tracking back to make that tackle on Abby Kershaw. Now it's a flat offload, but it's a good line from Worcester Warriors.
Thank you.
Another low one, but picked up well. Apples just lost forward at the tackle.
Forward.
This is really harming Worcester, just those little knock-ons, failing, looking for the offload on the floor and it just not being there. That ball just scooting forward.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see because they're taking it into contact so well, but they just need to be a little smarter and tuned into whether or not the offload is on, I think.
Yeah. And Helena Rowland there just wrapped up in the middle, just stopping that offload. Now it's Serret. Abby Brown. Ellen Ram's bottom on the wing. She goes back inside for Abby Brown, who's brought down really well. And now Loughborough going forward with some momentum. Abby Dogood picks that one up and is immediately driven back by two Warriors players. Spivas looking for that offload, brilliantly picked up mid-air from Abby Brown. But it's Sinead Harris wrapping that ball up.
Come back, please.
And Vivas goes digging for that one. Abby Dogood not able to hold on to that one.
Okay, it's just a knock up there.
Worcester Warriors get the turnover, but that's the end of the game. Loughborough Lightning win this one 43-14, and a real forwards win, I think, for Loughborough Lightning.
Yeah, really convincing win, and yeah, throughout the game we were mentioning the really strong plays that started from the forward pack, so I think in the post-game chat there'll be a lot of congratulations around the room for those girls in the 1 through 8 jersey to really drive the effort through the middle of the pitch and set up our backs to do the finishing. So yeah, great effort from the forwards and backs for finishing as well.
Indeed, I'm sure Datisha Harper will try and claim that try that Emily Serret scored off her line break. But obviously there were some moments of individual brilliance as well. Helena Rowland has been fantastic with the boot all day, just finding those areas. And of course that solo try right at the end.
Yeah, great vision from her, whether it's ball in hand or boot to ball. Helena sees the field really well and is such a playmaker, so great to see her dot one down herself, but also sets people up in really great positions, so awesome from her.
And it was the Loughborough front row who really put that effort into breaking the line. You saw breaks from Datisha Harper for that Emily Scout score. Dalika Menon was her usual self of just being an absolute wrecking ball all around the pitch. But in the back line, not the back line, the back row, Katie Trevathan, all over the pitch.
100%. I couldn't say her name enough in the first half of that first half. I think she did an amazing job on both sides of the ball, really driving the pace off the line, inspiring the girls around her to come off the line and put in some shots, and then attacking-wise, really just pinning her ears back, looking up, seeing the gap in front of her, and taking it on at pace.
Well, Loughborough Lightning managing to extend their winning streak. Worcester, coming in from that tough game against Exeter Chiefs 2 weeks ago, weren't able to make the most of some of their opportunities here, and they were just let down by a couple of handling errors here and there.
Yeah, I think in a couple areas they'll watch back the film and maybe be a little bit frustrated with those errors, and we saw some knock-ons and some offloads that didn't exactly make hands, so it'll just be about tightening those screws and really fixing those small errors that in the grand scheme of things do add up, and it can be that difference between scoring those extra tries or turning the ball over all over the field, really.
But a lot of positives for Worcester to work on. Their line-out worked fantastically throughout the entire game, and especially in the centres and those runners off 9 and 10, they were making ground, they were hitting their lines well, and especially in defence. I know the score doesn't suggest it, but Loughborough were pressing for a lot more time than it shows, and it was just 1 or 2 missed tackles and big lung-busting breaks that really hampered Warriors in the end.
Yeah, there was some really great defensive efforts from Worcester, and yeah, a lot of the time it did just end up one last break where they've kind of expended all their energy and they've used all their bodies, so by no means did Loughborough walk in today. They had to fight for every single try, and Worcester can walk away from this game being really proud of that defensive effort, and I think they really kind of put their mark on the game in terms of being dominant in the collision and going for the jackal as well when they saw that was on. That was awesome to see both teams compete for that ball.
Yeah, Worcester very, very smart at the breakdown. They weren't committing to every single one. They were making sure to get their defensive line set, but when they did go in for those jackals, that 9 times out of 10 they were forcing a turnover, and it's really good heads-up rugby, and I'm sure their defensive coordinator will be really happy with that.
For sure, I think it's all about picking your moments, and I think Worcester did a really great job of that, of deciding when it's time to fold around the corner and not go for that glory poach or jackal that we all love to, but no, I think they made really good decision-making skills around the breakdown, and that definitely put Loughborough under a lot of pressure.
The Loughborough backs, obviously, the 2 wingers being put into overtime, but Emily Serret as well, a lot of kicks from the tee, but there was a lot of territory played, both with the Sun and against the Sun, making sure to pin Warriors back. I know you can't really give away the Lightning game plan, but it seems to have been in the past few weeks that Loughborough have played on territory and time of possession.
For sure, and I think it's just by virtue of teams playing the field and using their space so wisely that it does come down to those decision makers in the back line and our back 3 to really play some good heads-up rugby, and us as forwards will run and put in those tackles where we can, but we definitely delegate to those girls to put boot to ball when they see the space and yeah, really capture the field and take advantage of that territory when we can to put us in the best position for those driving lineouts and for those pick and goes.
Loughborough Lightning with a big game. We had a lot of players back on injury from both sides, but in the end, Loughborough Lightning coming away with the win here. Worcester Warriors, unfortunately, unable to rise to the task, but a lot of positives to be taken from this game. However, it was top 4 contenders, Loughborough Lightning, who managed to hold off the attack by Worcester this game.
Yeah, a brilliant match from Loughborough Lightning this afternoon, 43-14. I'm sure they'll be very pleased with that. But let's take a look at what other scores have come through this afternoon. Lovely, nice. So of course Exeter Chiefs won their game 76-5 against DMP Durham Sharks. Wasps against Saracens, a very close game, but Wasps came through in the final stages to go against 26-24. There we go, Loughborough Lightning's confirmed result there, 36-14, but I'm sure Worcester Warriors will be very pleased with that result. And then Gloucester Hartpury there, 24-0 against Bristol Bears, and finally Harlequins up 19-0 against Sal Sharks. So let's just take a look at now the state of play and how the scores today have affected the league table. So Saracens are still at the top of the leaderboard there at 51 points, and Harlequins not that far away on 46. But Loughborough Lightning still defending their top 3 spot there on 48. Wasps sitting at 44 points there, with Exeter Chiefs not that far away on 39 points. Gloucester Hartpury sitting at 25, Bristol Bears on 22, Worcester Warriors there now on 16, South Sharks at 10, and DMP Durham Sharks still on 0. So I'm joined back with commentator Sam Peters. Well done, you made it back downstairs again.
Yeah, had slightly more time this time, so I didn't have to sprint and slip down the stairs, so all good.
Yeah, so just give me your overall impression of today's game.
Well, I think it was a great forwards battle, as we predicted pre-game. What happened in the end was just some handling errors from both sides. Unfortunately, Worcester had slightly more handling errors than Loughborough Lightning did, but both teams with a lot of positives. Obviously, Loughborough with 5 points more positives than Worcester, but they've got a lot to take away from this game. Good stuff to work on, and I'm sure they'll hit next week just as strong.
Yeah, and I wanted to know what you thought about the, it was like rugby tennis, going backwards and forwards. I mean, I was stood here watching the whole thing, obviously getting a tap, but also just, it was an incredible game from both teams. I think it was very equal.
Yeah, in terms of the kick tennis, as a back, I quite hate running backwards and forwards, but I don't hate it as much as the forwards do. And Sarah alluded to the fact that it's just sometimes hell when you just sat in the middle watching the ball go from side to side. But it is important tactically. Obviously, with the sun where it is today, when you're kicking that way, there's a lot of sun in your eyes and it's just challenging. But overall, both teams were really, strong in the air. Not Kath O'Donnell, Abby Duguid just dropping that one restart, but apart from that, both sides really good under the high ball.
Yeah, and not usually. We've seen a lot of scrums today throughout, not just in the first half or second half, but throughout the whole game. I mean, obviously, what do you think that the teams were pretty strong on their scrums today?
I think during the first half, both sides winning their own scrums pretty even, but it came to show in the later stages. Loughborough's strength in depth with their replacements just were too much for Worcester. We saw a couple of turnovers, some great pushes, and just Loughborough really showing their strength in the forwards.
Yeah, and Worcester Warriors, I think, are going to be very happy with their result, especially with Joe. As you said, there was a lot of attacking from Worcester Warriors throughout the whole game today. I really do think they'll be impressed, right?
Yeah, they had a lot of positive carries, taking the ball up. Unfortunately, just some of those balls were just out of reach for their carriers, but they were breaking a lot of tackles, and not just in attack defence. They held Loughborough. Loughborough probably are going away thinking, oh, we could have done a bit more here, a bit more there, but Worcester were really strong in that line, and they held the line really well.
Yeah, and Loughborough Lightning, I know you were talking about Helena Rowland, one of those standout players today. You were obviously impressed, and I think Sarah was obviously impressed by her as well.
Yeah, she's a very important player for Loughborough Lightning, and we're seeing it week in, week out. Not just with her kicking, but she's a very heads-up rugby player. She'll know when to throw that flat pass, as we saw that Taisha Harper picked up, and then Emily Serret scored, as well as that fantastic solo effort at the end just to evade the 15 and score.
Yeah.
But she's obviously, her talents are known. She's one of the contenders for the England 10 shirt. She's just been picked for the training 7 squad for GB Tokyo 2021. So she's got a really bright future ahead of her and
Yeah.
a vital part of the Loughborough programme.
Yeah, and I think Loughborough will be really impressed with their result today. And I know next week they're against DMP Durham Sharks. So the last time that they played was actually at Loughborough University at the stadium. So they'll be back against each other. What do you think Loughborough now need to just focus in for next week?
I think Loughborough will just go back to basics, make sure you reduce those handling errors. They had a lot fewer penalties today than they did last week against Quins, which I know you picked up on before the game. And overall, just hit the lines, get the passes done, and continue to work on the important parts of the play.
Yeah, and week after they've got Wasps, so of course, next week will hopefully be slightly easier for them, but then Wasps will be a little bit of a harder game for them to do. What do you think? Do you think they need to really focus in for that one?
I think they'll obviously take it one game at a time. Premiership rugby is still Premiership rugby at the end of the day. DMP deserve to be here, and whilst their results may not show it, they're still a strong side and have a lot of very dangerous players. So they'll obviously prepare for that one. But then as soon as that's done, it's going to be head down, buckle down. Wasps is a very important game. Obviously, Lightning and Wasps vying for that 3-4 spot, maybe even the 2 spot in the league. So they'll put a lot of work into that fixture.
Yeah, and Worcester Warriors next week, they'll be against Serret Sharks, and of course they're very close to each other in the leaderboard, so probably Worcester will probably want to try and get those points to go a little bit higher up in the table.
Yeah, I imagine that'll be definitely a slightly closer score, and I think Worcester will definitely go into that with the belief that they can definitely win this one. It's going to be very tight. They had a very good game the first time the two sides played, so I think Worcester, a lot of positives to take from this game, build upon that, and just look to put them into practice next week.
Yeah, Sam, thank you so much for
Rosa.
commentating today. So let's just take a look at what will be coming up next week in terms of upcoming fixtures. So as I was mentioning to Sam, of course, Loughborough Lightning will be against DMP Durham Sharks, but this time DMP will play their home game next week. Saracens will be going against Bristol Bears, Harlequins against Gloucester Hartbury. Wasps will be taking on Exeter Chiefs, and I think for all of us, that will be a very interesting game to see how Exeter Chiefs come through with that game. And Worcester Warriors, as mentioned, will be taking on Serret Sharks. So from all of us here at Loughborough University, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Please try and get out in that sunshine whilst you can, and hopefully it will remain now for the next week or so. But from all of us here at LSUTV and Loughborough University, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you.